welcome back to the only podcast that helps you lose weight while having you listen all about candy throughout the entire episode. This is Tube Talk / The Boost. I am Travis, and I'm here with a special guest, Rob. How you doing, Rob?
Oh, it's nice that you believe I am a special guest. I'm very honored, as always. I just want to give a huge shout out to Gentendo. Unfortunately, she can't join us today. It's because she's currently thrashing through Splatoon 3, right? Live streaming right now.
I think the truth is that we've had a lot of signups on one-on-one coaching, and her dashboard has been obliterated over the last couple of weeks, which, thank you to the people who've listened and have signed up. We had a couple people from the podcast that have actually signed up. So thank you for that. But we got a lot of stuff to get into. We have a lot of emails and text messages. I'm going to be also say something funny because I was going to talk about this anyway. But we're getting so many from what I call frequent flyers that in the coming weeks, we're probably going to have to filter some of those out. Not because we don't love to get them. I love to get them. I think they're great. We get to hear more about your journey. But because we get so many that what's happening in this episode is we're literally splitting in half. And we've done this before where we do like half the emails, half the text messages because we get so many. So in the coming weeks, what'll probably happen is if you've emailed in a lot, we always read them. We probably won't read them on air. As new people send in messages, we want them to be able to ask us questions as well. So obviously, we want to step aside for those creators as much as we can because we want to help everybody. But I have some interesting things in the next episode where I'm going to announce something cool for the Boost listener community. Super excited about that. I've been really wanting to get this community together and have a place for everyone to come together and chat and have all the things. So that'll be in the next episode. Yes. So make sure you're subscribed.
What a tease. That's like,
I love it.
You get somebody hooked for the video. You're trying to hook podcast listeners for the series.
That's right.
For future episodes. Goodness.
That's right. So hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or if you're listening on the audio podcast, you probably already are subscribed. Hang tight. We got you covered. All right. So today we're going to do half of the, we're going to do the text messages, which if you're listening to the audio podcast, there's a link in the show notes that say text us here by clicking that button. And then we'll do a couple of emails. And then in the next episode, we'll do the rest of the emails. All right.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Of course.
If somebody texts from an iPhone or an Android device, do they get a different bubble color? Because I hear this is a big topic for debate in North America. Like people really care how their messages are colored, whereas like anywhere else in the world, it just doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
There are people who will not talk to people with green bubbles.
So I hear, yeah.
Yes. And especially like in the high school kind of age group and stuff, they're very picky about that. There are people who, I've heard people who've been on dates and as soon as their green bubble comes up, they're like, nope, I'm not good. I'm not doing it. I've actually heard that from friends. They were told that. They're like, they're not a suitable mate because they have a green bubble. Terrible.
So this is operating system discrimination now in 2024.
You're not wrong. I don't know why that's the case, but this is the world in which we live.
You know what? But I think we should just stop that topic there before it gets any worse. Yeah, let's quickly move on, shall we?
Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah. So Brock's candy corn is way better than the cheap waxy stuff. The pumpkins are so good, but are so sweet they can hurt your teeth. Also had to turn off safe search before searching for Rob's suggestion. Wowza, holy monkey! Have a great video making week. Oh my gosh, yes. So if you missed the conversation about candy last episode, the what are they called? The twirly whirlies or whatever?
Curly whirlies.
I guess he had to put on the safe search.
Whirlies.
All right, here's the next message. Hey, Travis, hey, Jen, and vidIQ fam. Love the podcast. Found y'all on Apple Podcasts as I'm doing all I can to grow my YouTube channel. My name is Sam, and I just got monetized last month. Hit that sound effect for him.
Yeah, all right. Beautiful.
Oh, did it play? Because I didn't play over here.
No sound was heard.
No. What happened?
Ka-ching.
Ka-ching.
Why did not know? Let me press it again.
Nope.
Can you hear that?
No.
I can hear it. All right.
Why were the other sound effects we tested before this worked?
Beautiful.
Anyway,
right. Does this work?
No. It worked before, right? When you showed me earlier.
I've messed everything up. Brilliant.
Well, the good thing about this podcast is viewers hear this, or listeners hear this all the time, so they're totally used to us messing up. No big deal. Okay, back to this message. The channel growth is slow, while my overthinking has really sped up a lot lately. There we go.
There we go.
Yes,
we got it. All right, let's do this.
Dang, I should have lied and said it didn't work. Okay.
I'm ready now. Bring it on.
One of my travel review videos about Brazil really took off, as well as some other ones about Tanzania I recently did. My audience is starting to split, though. I enjoy posting these videos, but also have a few other niches I'd like to lean into that are not directly related to my travel videos. I watched a video encouraging my first 100 videos to be experimentation, to find my voice and to get consistent. And that's what I want to do. However, I also feel I need to lean into what already has worked for me. I'm only 20 videos into my channel, including getting one of my videos about Brazil to hit 150,000 views.
Nice.
I have 2,900 subscribers, mostly from Brazil, of course, right?
Yeah.
But I'm struggling right now with analysis paralysis, and I would like more of my audience from the USA to help me sustain this channel growth long term. In short, my question is, should I lean into making reviews about Brazil since that's already worked so well? Or can I continue to experiment with these first 100 videos, trying new niches, and that may not be directly related to my travel niche? All right.
Okay, so you often talk about this, Travis, whereby you make a video without necessarily considering the permutations of if the video does well. So we would maybe describe this creator as having a quote unquote viral moment for their channel. So this is a video that gets tons of views more than anything else. It doesn't have to be millions of views. For them, 150,000 views is like a wow. This is significant. But what do I do next? And they're hinting that cause and effect. Their audience now is coming from Brazil, and that is not unexpected. Now, what I would say is that the best creators are able to think beyond the niche of something tangible. And in this case, we're talking about a travel destination, and actually think about the threads, through lines of the intangible. And so, for example, one of them might be traveling to certain places on a budget. That would allow you to go to many different places, but strictly on like $500 or less, just as an example. So I would encourage the creator to try and determine if there was any kind of theme or through line beyond the destination about the trip to Brazil that they can then take into other travel destinations in the future. But I think they were also mentioning niches beyond travel as well, Travis. And if that is the case, then I think this is going to become more and more of a headache as the channel continues to grow. Because by all means, continue to experiment. You always have permission from us fellow creators to experiment, but there will be a time where just the mass of audience influence is going to determine what content you should be making on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, when you're this early in on your journey, although he's almost 3,000 subscribers in, which is, you're not completely new.
That's kind of I'd say they're at a small established channel.
Yeah.
Point. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're only 20 videos in. So there's this weird, like if you're 20 videos in, you should maybe have 100 subscribers. So they're in this weird situation where they had a couple videos pop off, probably to an underserved YouTube viewership. This happens sometimes, especially when you talk about other countries. And now you've got YouTube thinks that when you put out content that it's mostly for people in Brazil because you did this thing that took off and that sort of thing happens. So this is why I say, and I say this too much, every single time you put out a video, say in your mind, if this video takes off, will I want to do this video for the next 5 years and only about this content? This is exactly why I say this. Because ultimately, you will change your channel into whatever the big video is. Now, it's early enough in your your journey to say, okay, I've done that video. I don't really want to do travel. Or I don't necessarily want to do things about Brazil. Or you can spin that channel off into a Brazil traveling channel and use it for just to learn about how to grow on YouTube, and then create a new channel to do the other stuff you want to do, which is probably the move here. Or you can just say, you know what? I made a mistake because I didn't know. I had no idea that if I do this, I'm almost stuck there. or I have to like kind of dig my way out. So this is going to be up to the creator. What is your final kind of idea of what you want to accomplish? The 100 video ideas is typically for people that are just trying multiple different things and then they find something and catch on to it and go. And that's kind of what happened to you. It happened earlier than it does for most people. It happened in the first 20 videos. But now you got the question. Is this what you want to be doing? Don't do it just because it works, because that could get you in a situation where you're doing something you don't even like to do anymore. And that's kind of a bad place to be.
The creator as well has to maybe set some certain expectations here. And if I continue to make content about Brazil, then maybe I might expect thousands of views per video. But if I don't want to make content about Brazil, then I have to set the expectation of the stuff that isn't connected. I may be talking like hundreds of views per video. And you've got to realize that, again, where you are in your YouTube journey, that's what the emotional hit, maybe that's not the right word, but the realism of how YouTube is distributing your content depending on what you make for whom.
Yeah. So without completely answering your question, but kind of answering your question, basically it's going to come down to what you're going to fall in love with doing. You're at a crossroads now. Do what you think is going to keep you interested the longest. And if that means saying, well, I don't want to do any more Brazil content because I'm not really passionate about that, or traveling or whatever, you can start pivoting now. It's not too late. It will be a little difficult this early on, but it's not too late. If you continue to make Brazil content, it will be too late pretty quickly. All right. So here's another message. I hope all of this finds you well. I have 2 YouTube channels, both of which I like to do, but really only have time for one. My primary channel deals with photography, and my secondary channel deals with model trains. Both channels allow me to niche down into these topics. Photography has a huge potential audience. The model train, not so much, but may consist of a more dedicated super fans with time. I agree with this statement, by the way.
Yep.
I don't know. I can see the potential in both. Would a vidIQ coach help me decide which channel I should spend my time on and hopefully get to the most from? My goal is to hopefully generate some income in the future. Any suggestions would be appreciated. The photo channel is about 1,400 subs. The model train has 558 subs. I think, yes, but you don't necessarily need a coach to do that. Like, you don't need a coach to tell you that. I think we just kind of touched on this idea just in the last message, Rob. Don't you think? Like, which one is more passionate for you? If you only have time for one, Sophie's choice. What is your end goal? And go with that one first.
There you go. Jeff, whenever he did channel audits, and he was observing a channel of a certain type, he would always go back to that top level question, like, what is the goal of the creator? And that should help you answer the question. Because if he answers something on the lines of, I maybe want to build a business out of this channel, make it financially stable, and give me the freedom to explore YouTube as a career, then Travis, you're probably thinking the photography channel because of a bigger audience. Having said that, it is more competitive.
Yes.
So there might be like a smaller pond, but you could end up being one of the biggest fish in that pond, and that again might have business potential. But I think the creator will know that more than us. I can see you being able to sell all sorts of affiliate products through photography, but for what was it, model trains, model trains.
I think that there's affiliate sales there as well,
but probably not as mature and developed business opportunities there. Having said that, if you have had just a raw passion for train modeling, or model trains, however you want to call it, and you go like every other week to these groups and to these fairs and whatever, and you can see yourself talking about this for many years in the future, and you want to keep it like almost like a hobby, and you don't want it to be too serious and for it to turn into a job, then I think that would be the route I would go down.
Yeah, I think so. Either could turn into a business, but one probably has a wider birth of like opportunities. Photography obviously does, because photography lands in so many different areas, where model training, there are passionate people who will pay, you know, for different things. It could be maybe have an affiliate deal with a particular manufacturer or whatever, even like just Amazon or whatever. And you can say, these are the tools I use to make this train. You can buy them, and click links in the description. That sort of thing can definitely boost you as well. But like if you are an actual photographer, you can make a lot more money a lot faster. So it really just depends. I would say you don't necessarily need a coach for that. Of course, a coach would help you for sure. And there's a link in the show notes and the description below if you're interested to find out more about coaching at vidIQ. But I think just kind of thinking it through, like which is going to bring you more joy, and which would you rather have as a job, and really think of it that way.
Let me ask you a follow-up question, Travis. Could be curious to know your answer on this. Let's say the creator goes down the photography route, and they turn it into a successful channel and business. Do you think they would then be able to return to their model train channel as almost like something they do in their spare time? Or is it one of those circumstances where when you turn your passion into your job, it's really difficult to carry on with something that's kind of almost side-loaded onto that? Because, you know, I think one of the challenges we have here at vidIQ is that many people who join vidIQ have their own channels, and then they find it really difficult to do YouTube from 9 to 5 for educational purposes, and then run their channel, run their own sort of personal interest channel afterwards.
Exactly that. I think it definitely could be done. And it definitely could make it more fun, because you could feel potentially more detached from the success of a video, like the individual success. Like, I'm just doing this for passion. Like, I don't care how many views it gets. Obviously the thumbnail should be better if you really got good at photography, right? So absolutely you could. Again, it comes down to time. Like, how much time do you have? Maybe you have a family. There was an emailer from last week. I have 5 kids and like 2 jobs, and it's like, they just don't have time. So, obviously balance your work-life balance, and then adding in YouTube, not always an easy thing.
I asked that because you have had a tech channel, and Jeff, and I had a tech channel before I joined vidIQ, but I realized 6 months into just doing YouTube full time, I just couldn't keep up with my own channel. You know, it was a little different for me because, like, I was running the vidIQ channel, whereas you and Jeff were kind of coaches, or like doing not necessarily content creation during the day, but then you were kind of thinking about content creation, but not doing it. Whereas I just was then trying to do like 16 hours a day, and I thought something's got to give here. So that's why I mothballed the channel. God, how long ago now? 6 years ago, I think. Maybe 7.
And then really, that's kind of what happened to my main channel over the last couple of years. And especially the more content creation I do here at vidIQ, the less I kind of do on my own personal stuff. So, I mean, that's the thing too. If it becomes your job, sometimes your passion projects or whatever kind of take a back seat. But tis the life we lead, and I'm happy with it. It's fine, cool with it. Okay, next one. How do you find viral ideas for videos? I do gaming content, and every time I upload, it feels like I might be onto something, but it usually just flops. I think I do pretty good thumbnails and titles, but I'm not great at coming up with viral ideas. How about this?
All right. I mean, so do you want me to go first, or do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Right, okay. So for people who are watching the boost on the channel, I'm doing the shameless plug klaxon noise for like about a minute's time, right? But before I actually say that, obviously research is going to be really important here. So the question I'm going to ask the creator is, as well as the content you're making, are you watching YouTube as well as making YouTube content? And are you watching YouTube as if you are a viewer of your own content? To make this easy for you, if you haven't already done this, set up a dummy YouTube channel, watch some of your contents, and watch some content from the biggest creators in your niche. And what that should allow this dummy YouTube account to do is then serve up tons and tons of recommendations that are designed for your ideal viewer. That's going to help bring up lots of popular videos with like good ideas, examples of packaging, and so on and so forth. Now, if you want to kind of add to this and shortcut your way to viral ideas as well, we have a tool. So let me just, again, repeat that. We have a tool, and it's called the Remix tool. So if you download the vidIQ browser extension, on every single video on the homepage, watch pages, everywhere really, a remix button appears. And what it's designed to do is remix any video from any niche into your niche or topic. So an example might be a video is, I lost 30 pounds in 5 days with this diet, right? But let's say you're a gamer. It might remix that title into, I gained 500 gold pieces in 2 minutes with this strategy. And that is one of the ways you can do it. Like just remix, you take ideas from other niches and you remix it into an idea for your niche.
Yeah, and this is important because I kind of teased at the beginning of the podcast, kind of an announcement for the community for next week. You should definitely have the vidIQ plugin installed as part of it, and I highly recommend, if you have not already signed up for the boost level of vidIQ, to do that because it is directly tied to that. Some of you are already boost members, which is cool. Again, links in the description and in the show notes. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to want to do that. And it does have that and some other really cool tools that are being worked on as we speak. And one I'm super excited about that I'm sure we'll announce in the next week or two for that tool. Yeah, so that was a great way to tell people how to get some viral ideas.
It's kind of funny. We're going through the price points there, aren't we? So we'll give you some free advice first.
Yes.
Then the next one, you got to download our tool. Then the next one, you got to just pay for this tier. And now what we're going to offer you is Travis and I will do a one-on-one channel audit with you for $3,000.
$3,000. Yes, it would be $3,000. If you have anyone who got $3,000 and you're interested, we would do that. But yeah, trust me when I tell you, I think you're going to like what's coming up. All right.
This is on a 70-30 split, by the way. Like, you know, YouTube is 70-30 split. Yeah. I'm YouTube in this case, so I get like 70% of that $3,000.
Okay, here we go with another one. Hello, vidIQ. That's our name, by the way.
Nice.
With vidIQ. I'll be blunt and straightforward.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Are you nervous yet?
Shots
fired! Shots fired!
Do you think YouTube will monetize a channel that reviews celebrity feet and does the platform analysis in the same videos? I have other videos too, but it's a series that blew up, so I ran with it. I see faceless feet channels channels that make content that get good views, and I assume they're monetized, but I'm not sure. Thanks in advance.
I'm going to need a few minutes to recover.
I hope that's the name of your channel, The Faceless Feet. This is actually a great question. I do not know the answer to this. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
If it was publicly available images of celebrities' feet.
I mean, obviously there's a sexualized kind of idea behind it. Let's just be honest about it.
Yeah.
But as long as your content isn't kind of going there, so to speak. Like, I don't know, what do you review? First of all, I hate feet. I'm just going to say I don't like it. I don't like them, so I would never watch this channel. I don't know what you'd be doing in the video, and I think that's the thing. You say you review them, but what does that mean? What does that actually mean? And I think that's the devil's in the details here. I think.
I would imagine, Travis, I kind of say this as my get out of jail card when I'm not familiar with especially here, the faceless, footless
faceless, footless channel. Say it.
Footless channel. There is an audience for everything on YouTube. So I imagine there is probably an audience of hundreds of thousands of people who are interested in celebrity feet.
Oh, that is 100% sure, yes.
So I think there's probably an audience there. I was thinking about doing a search on YouTube then, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you'll never get it out of your.
I don't want my recommendations to be tainted with that.
Hey, are you saying you're going to put your foot down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, nice. What was the question? I've forgotten. It's whether it be monetized, right?
Right.
But I guess to answer this seriously, there are advertiser-friendly guidelines which will. Well, I don't think it's going to list whether foot celebrity channels are A-OK, but like it'll be under a broader spectrum of, I don't know, body exposing different parts of the body. I think that would be absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a better answer of, yes, I don't know why it wouldn't be monetized, unless, of course, when you get into the details, is it perhaps being sexualized in some way?
Right.
And, is there, I guess, could they, we thought about this, Travis, but I don't know, maybe they were going off on a slightly different tangent here, but like testing whether the channel is in restricted mode.
Yes,
that's
actually
a bit of a lead in to whether it is
great idea,
controversial content.
What video did we put on the main channel that explains that? What was that video about? So we could show that.
It was something along the lines of this one setting could this setting be losing you views? I think was a video where, and we discovered this through a channel audit, and I think it was a channel auditing films from the 1980s. And just I thought something was odd because whenever I see a channel which is getting less than 10 views on every single video, that makes me really wonder what is going on. And so we turned on restricted mode and every single video disappeared from the channel.
Yep.
And so we were wondering, does the creator even know this? Because maybe their content is supposed to be aimed at a younger demographic, but it's just not reaching them because the creator doesn't know it.
Right.
Because restricted mode isn't necessarily a bad thing, because we proved it with Moist Critical.
Right.
That a lot of his videos are in restricted mode, but he still gets tons and tons, millions of views because his content is designed for a very much a mature adult audience.
Right. Yeah. So it's hard to say. We don't have a hard answer for, a really solid answer for this. Obviously, do your research. I love the idea of checking the restricted mode, which again, if you don't know how to do, you can Google like how to check for restricted videos on YouTube. And it's a good place to start. But listen, good luck to you. Let us know how it turns out. And I'm curious. I don't know where this is going to go. I will not watch any of the videos though. I
am willing to submit my feet for audit.
Wow. Look at that. Your first celebrity actually submitting their feet for your channel. That's amazing.
They wouldn't actually know, would they? How can you tell who's...
You can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell.
I bet the creator can answer... Well, actually, you can.
I don't want to know how you can tell. Can we just say that instead? Okay, here we go. Hello, I love the show and I've been listening to it for a couple of years now. Started my original YouTube channel, Scorpion Builds, a couple of years ago. I'm a general contractor by trade. So I made my channel about home repair, but then I decided to niche down and focus more on woodworking specifically. So I started a second channel called Scorpion Builds Woodworking. My problem is I don't know how to tell a story that flows with whatever I'm building. I've listened to many books recommending across different platforms, including this podcast, but I'm still having trouble with storytelling. It feels like most of the advice that I get from books and podcasts is not related to my niche, and I'm having a hard time integrating what I learn into my videos. I want my channel to be fun and informative. Currently, both channels have about 570 subscribers, and I want to put out one video a month, but I work full-time and have 4 kids. So videos are fairly intermittent. I'm sure my channel growth is slowed down by my inconsistency in uploading videos and not being able to make things that are highly searched for. Since I don't have a lot of time, I tend to build things that I need for myself or one of my clients. I feel like my storytelling is the part that's lacking the most. Any help would be appreciated. Storytelling in a searchable niche.
I apologize. I got distracted because what was the channel called? Was it?
It's their original channel was called Scorpion Builds.
Yeah, and then he said he was going to do woodwork. So this is a joke that's probably only going to be applicable to people of a certain vintage. But does he go into his yard and fire a hook and then say, "Get over here"?
Yeah, that would be cool, actually. No, so
Mortal Kombat, if anyone remembers that one.
Love it.
Right.
But I think, by the way, there are a couple channels that we're aware of that are like how-to channels or that sort of thing. There's a plumber channel specifically that continues to come to my feed. What's the guy's name with? Hold on, he built a channel. Again, he's a plumber by trade, but he's super. He's got like 1 million subscribers. Yeah. Roger Wakefield.
There we go. Yeah.
He's at 600,000 subscribers. Yeah.
He goes to every single conference and event. You see him everywhere.
He's a great guy. I've talked to him many times in person. He actually gave me a ride from Vid Summit to the airport when I was waiting for my Uber. Great guy. And he's a plumber by trade. And, at first he was just putting out plumber videos and stuff. And his channel was like doing whatever. And then he took like Daryl Eve's course and then learned things about like storytelling and such. So I would look up Roger Wakefield as one of the people who's figured out like good storytelling, but still kind of telling you how to, and he's in your niche. He's literally in your niche. So check him out as like a good kind of channel to not mimic, but, get inspiration from.
I still consider storytelling somewhat of a blind spot for me, Travis. And again, just trying to go back to the creator's concern. They were talking about search traffic. What did they mention at that point?
So basically, well, he didn't say anything about search traffic. Basically, what he's saying is that
I thought it was something about search.
That was another creator. So this one's talking more about how he can't figure out storytelling across, because he reads books, listens to podcasts and everything, and he just can't figure out how to make storytelling a part of his video content making. And he can only really make one video a month, so he's got to kind of swing for the fences each time.
Yeah. That's a tricky one, actually, because there's definitely a tension here between whether you should aim for answering the biggest DIY questions out there, because like you have one shot a month essentially, and trying to have some big search engine breakthrough content, or trying to lean into the storytelling element whereby once you've got a viewer into the video, they're going to be hooked for all of it and then hopefully be a return viewer the next time you publish. I think from my experience alone, I would be focusing on the DIY videos with the biggest search reach, rather than concerning myself too much about storytelling at the moment. But that's from my perspective, where, as I say, Travis, I myself don't feel as if I'm the best storyteller in the world yet. But I will try and think of some storytelling elements after you add your thoughts.
Yeah, I think again, there are the and he probably knows it because he's read a lot of books about this, like the three story arc. I forget exactly what it's like. It's the beginning. It's like the setting up the issue, like the conflict, and the resolution. Like there's these 3 parts to storytelling, and it's not uncommon to have that even in some really well done how-to content. And it's important to understand that really this is just about hooking the viewer, and to try to stay exactly within the confines of what you read may sound difficult. But for example, if like you're doing a how to fix your toilet, like, believe it or not, like, I know it seems like, okay, well, just tell me what. If you really want to do the storytelling behind it, you can totally do that. You can set up the scene, like, listen, you're not a plumber. You don't know how to fix your toilet. It broke. It's overflowing, and you don't know what to do. Well, here, I'm going to help you. You and I are going to go along together in this journey, and I'm going to show you how to fix this thing. So in that, just that intro alone allows you to know that, like, I understand that you are sitting there, your toilet's overflowing. You don't know what to do, right? Like, I'm on the journey with you. We're going to do it together. That's me bringing you along for the ride. And then as I do the video, I can say, okay, so have you ever seen this thing, and I've had to fix toilets before, so this is a kind of, I don't know what I'm saying here. The plunger here, you ever seen that? This is how this actually works. Instead of teaching and kind of talking at the viewer, you can talk like with the viewer. And that's a storytelling element. It's not, I think some people think storytelling, they think it means a specific, like, in the beginning, there were 2 people who did. It's not that. It can be about bringing the person into the situation and telling the story that way. one time, I had a party and my toilet flooded, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did in that moment. Like that's part of the storytelling narrative. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Just make it engaging for the creator. And again, if you watch some of the videos from that channel I was talking about earlier, then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
And if you want to Mr. Beastify it and add some stakes, say something like, and my 3-year-old son's bladder gives me around about 2 hours to fix this, or else we're going to have a hell of a mess.
Exactly. Yeah. Stakes. Adding stakes is awesome. Yeah.
That was the best storytelling concepts I could come up with.
Do you need to do that? No, you don't. But you were asking the question, so we're going to give you an answer. Hopefully that helps you somewhat in your journey. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of emails so that we can tighten this down because, man, we just have a lot. Okay, let me see. Let me find one. Oh my gosh, we have so many.
I love this. You're kind of a victim of your own success, or like you're a sports manager, like with a good headache. Like, which emails do I choose? Which are the best questions? I don't know who to pick.
Exactly that. And moving forward, we won't be able to do every single email that comes in. Like in the future, we won't. I'm still trying very hard to make that happen, which is why we're splitting across 2 podcasts. And for the time being, I think it's important for us to do as many of them as we absolutely can. However, at some point, it's going to be, we got a bunch of emails. We can only do some of them, and we're going to concentrate on those. But we're not at that point yet. We're very close to it, though, but we're not there. Okay, so let's start with this first one. So that first one, like I said, the first group we just did are the text messages, which if you're listening to audio podcasts, there's a link in the show notes that you can text us. These are emails for people who are emailing us, theboost@vidIQ.com. And this first one is from Gamer Xboom. Hey guys, before my question, I consider you my friends without knowing you because you are really holding my hand and pushing me through this journey. Thank you for the boost.
Sweet. Thanks.
My question is why YouTube recommends my videos at certain times of day. And it's always after 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. And then after that, no impressions. Sometimes it's very low impressions after this time. Thanks for everything you do. That's interesting. They're noticing impression boosts at a certain time of day. Now, unfortunately, there's a lot of context that's missing in this email to kind of give a better answer. For example, do you release videos at a certain time of day every day? And, for the first 24 hours or so of releasing a video, you do get a boost in impressions. And that's normal, right? So if you were to release at, say, 10 a.m. and you're getting kind of a jump at 1 to, that kind of makes sense. If you're releasing at 1:30 p.m. and you're getting the boost, that totally makes sense. If you're releasing at midnight and you're not getting it until the next day, it's a little bit more unusual, but not unheard of. But if you're saying even if you don't release videos, see, this is a different question. Even if you don't release videos, you're still getting that push. It's, again, different. Now, my further question is, where do you live? Because your 1 p.m. may not be my 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Your 1 p.m. might be my 11 a.m., in which case more people might be online. So it's hard to answer this question without knowing a lot more. But what's the takeaway you think from a question like this, Rob?
This sounds like YouTube is functioning exactly as it's intended to do, which is to meet the audience where they are at the right time with the right type of content that they want to watch. For example, do you notice if you're watching YouTube on television, you get different recommendations than to what recommendations you get when you're on your phone? Probably. And that's because if you're watching YouTube on television, you're probably sat down, relaxing, you're on a couch, you're ready to lean back and maybe watch something for 20, 30 minutes. However, if you are on a toilet just swiping through YouTube, you probably want something that's snappy and quick and might be 2 or 3 minutes long. So YouTube is going to determine what device you're using and what time of day. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Let's guess, Travis, that this creator is still at school, maybe high school. And so between 1 and 6 p.m. sounds like the time when their audience might be on YouTube. They've just finished school. Maybe they're just watching YouTube before they have their lunch or they go out to like some evening activity. Kind of makes sense to me. I guess what is interesting is that they're actually able to notice the fluctuations in impressions. Like I can see our audience's peaks and troughs through views. Like every single day you can see between the hours of 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. is our peak viewership. And whereas like midnight to 4 a.m. it just falls off a cliff, but not impressions. I don't know how you'd be able to track that.
I don't think they're actually tracking that. I think they are insinuating, which is correct, that if they're getting more views, they're getting more impressions.
Okay.
So they're probably equating the two,
Yeah.
which while technically they're not the same thing, in this particular instance, they do kind of equate.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of channels have this up and down during the course of a day, and it's kind of normal. And again, depending on where you live and where your viewership mainly lives will impact that. Not something you need to be concerned with, not that important, other than if you're to live stream, that's a good time to live stream. It means that's when your viewership is on. And if you're going to release a video, not a bad idea to release during that time. But if you have evergreen content, kind of an irrelevant thing to think about.
The chances are through a 24-hour cycle, that viewer is going to see your newly published video at some point. But obviously, apply a bit of common sense. Like, there's no reason to post a video at 4 a.m. in the morning because you're asleep and everybody else is asleep who might be watching the video. So you can actually end up influencing your viewership. Like, we always post our content at exactly the same time on the days we publish. So maybe our audience is now kind of subconsciously tuned to when we go live. But it's one of those things that creators just start to worry about. And it has such a, what's the phrase? It's statistically, can you play the jingle, please, Travis?
Statistically insignificant.
It's statistically insignificant impact on your
that is statistically insignificant.
Yeah, it's one. That was a long one. Do it again.
That is statistically insignificant. Yeah.
There, that's the answer.
That is the answer.
If only we'd thought of this 5 minutes ago, we could just play that jingle.
Really, that's exactly what we should have done. Okay, so here's an email from Paula. Paula, the subject matter says vidIQ tees. Hello, everyone. I love listening to your podcast. I'm a little impatient, so I decided to do some graphic arts for your tees. And she sent a whole bunch of PDF files with images that we can use on shirts, which I actually went to a shirt website and put it on, and it looks great. It says vidIQ, vidIQ with a little thing. It's very cool looking. And I think it's funny that, because we've talked about merchandise on this channel a couple times, and we were just kind of toying with the idea. I don't think we actually were ever really going to think about doing it. But in the meantime, we've been sent keychains by one of our listeners. We'll talk about more of that in the next podcast. I think actually you've been offered one too. Which I'll have to, in the next episode when we talk about them, I'll ask the creator if I remember reading the email correctly, they actually were offering you one as well. And then this came along, and it really made me think, this community is crazy in a great way, in the best possible way. Like, she's like, look, you've been talking about merch all this time, you're not doing it. So I just went ahead and made the graphics for it. And I probably will actually be printing out a shirt or two from this design. We appreciate it greatly, and wearing it on the podcast. I think it's cool. I'm afraid that people are going to ask for it now. And I don't know that I don't know that we're ready to even sell merch or anything like that. But if people are really interested in that, with like some of the sayings from the show, I'd be open to listening to what you have to say. Feel free to send us an email to boost@vidiq.com if that's something you're particularly interested in. I have a feeling that maybe a couple of you are, but I don't know what that number even looks like. So we'll see. I do like this design. I think it's very cool. So thank you so much for that, Paula. I'm going to print one of these out as well.
I would be more than happy to display any stuff on my multiple scenes and backgrounds, and wear any t-shirts that are designed. But I also just want to point out two things here, Travis, from both the creator perspective and the community perspective. Like, you and Jen are already cultivating this positive tribalism within this podcast, with like really dedicated, passionate listeners, fans, who are coming up with all of these little things. Like, we just played this jingle that a creator made, and now thousands of people have just heard it. And now another creator has contributed a t-shirt design, and another one's made these key rings. And that is one way to try and get acknowledged and noticed by, I guess, your peers and channels you respect. And so, sometimes people ask, how do I reach out to a big creator to just network with them? And I don't want to say do things for free for them, because that doesn't sound right, but it's like just getting noticed and sharing your love and appreciation for the people that you inspire you can have a really positive impact. And then they notice you, and then, hey, maybe it does lead to a conversation, a network, or a collaboration. And so just think about that when you are, trying to reach an audience. Like, how can you get yourself involved in the community that revolves around it?
Yeah, this is a tricky subject because I don't ask for anything from the viewership. They have started to offer it, and I think it'd be rude to just say no. But I have a feeling there will come a moment where we'll have to start saying no, just because we don't want people to think that we accept bribes or something for something.
I
it's
do.
Just,
I've already said I'll do a channel on it for $3,000.
This is true. Actually, I would as well. But I think the thing is, I'm flattered, and I know Jen's flattered, and we're just flattered that people think that much that they'll spend what I always call the most valuable currency, time, to do something like this. Like, it's not a small thing to me to hear someone say they're going to spend their time to do something, especially for the show. Yeah. Like, I value that more than if you said, can I send a $10 super chat? Like, $10 super chat's cool. But if you spent like 10 minutes doing something, even writing the email, like, that means a lot to me. It really does, because you don't get that back. That currency is gone forever. Let's see if we can do this one or two more before the day is over. Hi, Jen, Travis, and the vidIQ crew. I've been eagerly listening to the vodcast, collecting all of your pearls of wisdom. I'm planning to launch my YouTube channel in the new year and wanted some guidance on how to make an engaging hook to bring my audience into videos. Before I read more into this, here's something interesting, Rob. Yeah. We do get a lot of people that are new to YouTube that listen to the podcast, but I've seen a couple of times people that are doing what I did, which is research a lot about YouTube before they ever post. This is interesting, and they found us, which is amazing. I'm flattered to be a part of that journey. What do you think about that? It's definitely unusual, but what do you think about it? I think it's great, but what do you think?
I am a little triggered because when you said I'm looking to start my channel in the new year, like, my instinctive response was, why haven't you already started? Why is there not already a video on the channel? Why have you not already just got your hands dirty? Because my mantra, my philosophy personally is nothing beats experience. If this person listening right now stopped listening now and posted a video, nothing would make me happier. But I appreciate that not every creator learns in that way. They want to absorb as much as possible before they post on YouTube. Again, I feel as if people love the idea of becoming a content creator and a YouTuber, but it is a completely different journey actually doing it. So I also want creators to get to that point as soon as possible where they say to themselves, it's not a question of if I make another video, it's when, because I love doing this so much. So yeah, I have a very biased opinion on this idea of research. I would say create, iterate, research, learn, create, iterate, so on and so forth. But I appreciate not everybody else wants to do that.
But let's finish the email, because maybe this gets answered. I mean, sometimes that happens. We go, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, oh, the next one is, because I'm out of country until the first of the next year. Oh, well, okay.
Still not an excuse. You've got phone. Got phone access to the internet. Record, upload.
My niche is art therapy and creative coaching videos, targeting people, most likely women, who need a relaxing activity to bring down their stress and anxiety levels.
Right.
The format will be similar in each video. I will provide instructions, demonstrate the activity, then give a set of reflective journaling questions to answer after each activity. I want to create playlists that focus on both the type of medium, drawing materials, sculpturing, painting, collage, writing, and also time duration, 5 to 20 minutes. I know storytelling is funny. We do storytelling again. I know storytelling is huge in audience engagement, and I had an idea to start each video with some B-roll showing some stressful, frustrating vignette, like the morning rush to get the kids out of the work. This is literally, she's like saying what we just said, which is really funny. Being asked to work late with a voiceover that leads into me introducing relaxing art activities that would help you deal with the stresses out that day. This is a good approach. The hook is the stressor. The answer is art therapy. And the transformation would be feeling relaxed after the activity. I'm looking for guidance on how to make a great visual hook with the video format I'm planning. Is that too jarring, or should I just introduce myself and get on with the demo? We'd love some storytelling guides here. Lexi, I think we kind of answered this in the last email, but I love that what was done in this email was literally explained what it's going to look like. Going to show, the format will be similar. Demonstration of the activity and then reflective journaling. So for example, like she said, getting the kids out the door, like things are going on super stressful, and then leading it into the stressless or the de-stressing activity. I think that's fantastic. I think it makes sense. You're connecting with the viewer in their, probably in their exact experience, which is what I was saying when I was talking about the toilet video, which was basically like, you know what happens if you're in this part of your toilet, like it's the same idea. Literally what you just explained is that version in your niche. Personally, love it. What do you think? But that doesn't mean Rob loves it, but that means I love it.
So there's two things I want to mention. Remind me that I need to mention the time sensitivity of their content if I forget. The reservation I have here, Travis, is imagine if you want to watch a music video or you want to watch a relaxation video. Do you want a preamble, or do you just want the music or the relaxing meditation? Like, I'm watching this video to de-stress, but the hook is how stressed I am. That is my only concern. Having said that, I love that the creator is already thinking about video formats, the hook, the niche particular. Like some creators just start making videos and figure out all of that stuff later. That's a good starting point. It reflects that they've done the research. Now, time sensitivity. This sounds like something somebody may want to improve in their life, particularly in the new year, because it's a resolution. So if they are saying they want to start this in 2025, does that mean that videos are going to be published starting January the 1st, where there might be a peak in interest for this type of content? That's another reason to really think of it. I mean, it's the beginning of November to now. So I think you have time to batch and prepare a series of videos to release right when this could be of a particular interest for your potential viewers.
Yeah, and I think you even could be direct in some of the titling and saying something like making your New Year's resolution a life-changing opportunity or something like that, like where you're challenging, because most people think of New Year's resolutions as this thing you do for a couple of weeks and then you forget about it, right? I think if you challenge that thought and go, hey, these are, obviously this is something that people will want to do for the rest of their lives, you challenge that whole, this isn't a temporary thing. I think what you were saying as far as don't bore us, get to the chorus, which is another way of saying what you were saying before, depends on what you're trying to accomplish. I think if she's trying to be just a search-based channel, then you need to get to the point right away. Yeah. But if you want to develop a community, sure, you want to be able to connect with people, then you need to be the person talking to them and meeting them where they are. So I think it might be slower to do that, but I think your audience will be more connected and more likely to watch more than one video. I would say it's the same as my toilet's clogged. I go watch Joe the Plumber and I get my answer. I never watch Joe the Plumber again versus Roger Wakefield. He's kind of engaging and I'm like, what else does he have? Because he's actually talking to me and we're having a fun time. I am still getting my answer, but it's something that connects with me on another level because I feel like they see me. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, and if it's just a utility channel because you want to just get views so that you can monetize and stuff, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But I might be reading this wrong, but I feel like this person wants a slightly deeper connection than that, in which case they would want to do what I think they say they're doing. Okay. It might be a slower upbringing, though. It might not happen right away.
Should the creator consider making a pilot episode that maybe they don't even release, Travis, just to figure out how to do all of this? Because it's all well and good having this idea in your head, but until you try and actually execute it, you've no idea what the output's going to be.
I love that.
Again, you've got November. You could like just do a complete experimentation for the entirety of this month with no intention of publishing it, unless it's amazing. If you, oh wow, I figured this out already. Like almost make a video you intend not to create just to see how this turns out.
I love that. I love that idea. That's a fantastic idea. All right, we've got one more that we'll do. And this one's from Hal, and it says from search to browser, but I think they mean from search to browse.
Yeah.
The traffic source. Hello, Jen, Travis, and Rob from the last time. Sorry for the brevity of my last letter. Yo. I plan on creating a series of videos for this DIY project to gauge an audience response. To provide more detailed information and make sure Rob can understand my questions, here's a brief explanation. I intend to make a living concrete that can repair its own cracks. Wow. This includes several main steps, each of which is a new experiment, so it might not yield meaningful results and can be considered a failure. The entire project might take about a year, so I plan to divide it into 5 videos, with each video focusing on one key step, such as selecting active materials and creating the concrete formula and such. This channel is kind of a DIY channel. In the past, I created a project that lasted 9 months and then cut the failures and turned it into a single video. Although that video became the most popular one on my channel, this approach left a long gap without uploads. Based on my tests, my channel gap needs to be within 3 months to avoid losing viewers' interest. Then we'll say my question this time is that I previously asked Robert, maybe someone else, in a live stream was about my channel's main traffic source, which is search. I tried to shift the source to browse, but viewers kept coming back to search, or else my videos got no views at all. So I'm wondering if I increase the quantity and scope of videos so that viewers can find my videos regardless of search inquiries, is a feasible strategy. So I think it's important to understand the difference between browse and search. Search is about intent. I search for something that I want the answer to, and then I'm unlikely to follow up very many times after that. If I want to learn how to tie a tie, I might watch 2 videos on it because maybe the first person doesn't do a great job, or maybe the first person does a great job, and then I'm done. My intent is done. I may never watch another video about that thing again. If browse, which is something that happens on your home screen, that's YouTube's recommendation engine. That's the quote algorithm that people talk about. That is based off of my viewing habits, and YouTube thinks that you're going to like this video next. The difference there is you can still give answers in a browse-based video, if you want to call it browse-based, but those tend to be more entertaining, not just informative, but more entertaining, and have a hook that make you want to come back for more, because YouTube's looking at that content and going, okay, people have come to this video and then gone to the channel and watched more content and then stayed on YouTube, versus someone went in, they got their answer on this one video, they never went back to the channel again. We're only going to ever show you this one video, and that's the end of that. So your content, which, you said the most popular one was the one with all the mess ups, makes sense, because if you think about things like sports, some of the most popular things like in race car driving are the crashes and all the mess ups like that. Those are things that are always going to be popular because people like that sort of thing. So I think that's probably why that was popular on your channel. Doesn't mean your other stuff can't be popular. But if you're going to have a browse quote based channel, entertainment and as well as informing is definitely going to be high on the list. Mark Rober comes to mind.
Let me ask you a question on the spot here, Travis. Let's say you are searching for a video about how to tie a tie, right?
Yeah.
Why might you be searching for that?
Because I have to go somewhere to tie a tie, because Lord knows I don't even put on pants. So
where might you be going?
Somewhere fancy for sure.
Okay.
It could be a wedding. Could be something like that.
So let's say that you are need to know how to tie a tie because you're going to a wedding. All right. And you want to look smart for that wedding. And you want to have an appearance that ensures that your partner is proud of you and like it raises your self-esteem and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
So I guess what I'm trying to get to here is like the inner core beliefs and feelings of a person who searched for that very specific answer. And it might be like to raise esteem, to be more confident. Another example might be, I need to know how to tie a tie because I haven't tied one for 20 years and I'm going for a job interview. And it's really important I get this job interview so I can get a better job, again, be prouder of my state as a person working like by hand. What am I trying to say about all of this? You're going from a specific answer to a specific question to the beliefs, mindsets, values, goals of a particular type of viewer. So in the context of what we did here at vidIQ to change it from search-based content to more browse-based, we might have a video along the lines of how to write better titles for your videos, right? Now, people might search for that and we might get like tens of thousands of views from it. But what if we repackage that as do this to double your views in 5 minutes? This is now something a lot more holistic to the viewer. It's like, oh, this video is going to tell me how to get the thing I want most, which is more views. And I'm going to be able to do it in a constricted time. Like I'm benefiting in so many ways. And we were able to switch our main traffic source from search to browse because we were trying to tap into more the emotional state, desires, and needs of the audience. So we were less specific, more broad, and the idea was that the viewer may be going onto YouTube casually, and their first thing they see on the homepage is this kind of emotional pull and draw to think, oh yeah, I'm into video gaming and I'm into wrestling, but I'm also into YouTube education because I'm growing my channel. And now this video I've seen, I think from vidIQ, I've seen them before when they helped me how to set up playlists, something very specific, but now they're telling me how to grow my YouTube channel. Oh, that's really desirable for me and my needs as a human being. So the long story is, the TLDR is that, as Travis says, you need to move from intent to like ideal viewer desire, something that they maintain beyond satisfying the intent. You can either all give me a round of applause or like a fart noise, as if that was a terrible answer, because I felt as if I was just ranting a little bit there.
No, I think you nailed it, and it's essentially like the difference between the same video content, one being how to tie a tie and the other being how to dress for success. It's the same video.
See, Travis, if you'd said that 10 seconds ago, I wouldn't have had to have blabbed on for 5 minutes.
Well, I would have interrupted you. I didn't want to do that.
That was beautiful.
You were cooking. As they say, you were cooking. All right. So
just say that again. Say that again, Travis, how you said it.
You were cooking?
No, the tie, dress for impress, whatever it is.
Okay. It's kind of like saying with the same content, how to tie a tie versus how to dress for success.
That is a knowledge bomb right there.
Well, I want to thank Rob for joining us today on this episode of the Boost / the Tube Talk, which is our problem because we have two names for one podcast, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We've talked about this over the last couple of months. There's no getting around it. But I thank you for joining us. And it has been asked for by many people in emails and stuff afterwards. They love having you here. So we love having you here as well. I think we want to do a semi-regular thing where you're here at least like twice a month. I think
I love
that
it.
sounds pretty good. And we can have some fun with that. We really appreciate you coming through.
I'm hoping that one day we can maybe get into some deeper conversations about why specifically I'm wanting to come onto the podcast.
I would love to hear that conversation.
We're reaching, flex brag. We're reaching 2 million subscribers on the channel, and it's starting to make me think about my long-term future as a creator. And I'm going through like a bit of an existential crisis right now. But I want to leave it there. Maybe we'll have a deeper conversation about that.
We're going to interview you specifically about this exact subject in the coming weeks here.
Let's do it. This is another tease for a future episode of The Boost.
We'll call it like Inside Rob Wilson's Mind, and the thumbnail will be your head, but like the head off with your brain showing, and like we're in there poking it or something.
All right.
Any graphic artist that can help us do that, please do that. Okay. Anyway. If you're watching the YouTube channel, thank you. Maybe hit that subscribe button. I'll leave a end screen here to watch the rest of some of these podcasts as we try to give you information while also being fun and exciting. And we'll see all of the rest of y'all in the next one.